Hi, everyone. I just wanted to take a few minutes and discuss some upcoming assignments and do a little video that I promised y'all for the assignments. I know you've been dying to get these videos, and I will do one for 763 also for the assignments coming up in that class. But for 764, and I apologize, of course, my dog is barking as she always does when I'm trying to do something work related, but that's okay. So for 764, if you go back to the calendar, which I know y'all, I try to make them so they're not sideways, and I just have no luck. So I do apologize. I don't know what is the matter with my scanner. It hates me, but that's okay. So the affirmation form is due today. I think most, if not all of you, I think I'm only waiting on one. So the rest of you, good job. So you don't have to worry about that. And then the next assignments, we have the application exercise coming up, the IRIS module assessment questions, and the applying your knowledge. So that's what I'll talk about in this little video. And then your next assignments are not due until April. So, excuse me. So we have plenty of time. Y'all, I always lose my voice when I record for y'all. So I will cover this assignment, and this assignment in this little video. Okay, so let's go back to over here. So there's a couple things to be aware of. The standards are here just in case you need them. In the past, this class, you did have to write your own lesson plan. So that's why I have the standards linked over here, but you don't necessarily need them this semester. I did send y'all, posted an announcement before, and I sent y'all, I sent an email before, and I think I did post an announcement also with a letter for your, I posted an announcement, and I sent you the letter that you can give to your CT to, to share with them about how you can spend those 30 hours in their classroom. So you don't necessarily need these standards, but I have them there anyway, just in case. I think the ELA ones, I have the ELA ones and math. So just in case you need them for anything, there they are. But the next couple assignments, let's go under the assignments tab first. So the first one is the application assignment exercise. So these two go together, right? This application exercise, this is the actual document. And then this application assignment, which is where you will complete what you submit. So what this is, you're just going to click here. This is just a lesson plan from the explicit instruction textbook that some of you used in 762. Again, if you have the textbook, great. If you'd rather look at the hard copy, that's perfectly fine, but you certainly do not need the textbook. And of course it is upside down, and I promise y'all, I try saving it after I rotate it. It always goes back to upside down. So anyway, I just like to make things, super fun for you. So you'll just need to right click. On my computer, it's just right click. Sometimes you have the option to rotate clockwise and counterclockwise. So just choose, right click again. Which way did I go? Okay, I had to think about it. All right, so it's the application 2.3 model lesson, algebra lesson on parentheses. You will also see this lesson in the task presentation that you watch, and then you'll submit the guided notes. I'm going to talk about that too in just a second. Nope, wrong class. That is for Education 763. But you will see this lesson in Education 763. But anyway, so I want you to read the lesson out loud or teach it to, teach in quotes to a friend or colleague. Then go back and note any exemplary practices evidenced during the opening, the body, and the closing of the lesson. Finally, compare your observation to ours. So this, because someone did have a question about this, I did post an announcement about this. These are really the answers. So if you do have the textbook, don't cheat, y'all. Do the assignment first, and then you can check your answers against theirs. I will also post these pages after I grade everyone's assignment. Gracious day. I was just outside with my dog and it was freezing. So I think I just, I inhaled too much cold air or something. But so don't cheat. I mean, I know y'all can, but same as, those IEP assignments from 762, the answers are there, but try to do that. Try to do it yourself first. Take what you've learned from lesson planning and the feedback that I gave you in 762, if you took that course, and see what you find, so you're looking mostly here, the opening, the body of the lesson right here. And this is very explicit instruction. Maybe your, the students where you end up being placed, maybe they're struggling with algebra. Maybe you could say to your CT, hey, can I go ahead and teach this lesson? That is totally fine with me. as is teaching any of the lessons from your textbook, which I explained in the letter. So that is perfectly fine with me. Okay, so you're going to look at the body of the lesson and you're going to look at the closing of the lesson. And you're going to look for, and kind of keep that FMU lesson plan template, keep that. And I actually, if I remember, I will post that, but we all know how that goes. Keep our template in kind of the back of your mind as you're going through this lesson plan, and really look for those exemplary practices. What is this lesson doing really, really well? Okay. I don't need a video of you reading it out loud or teaching it or anything. That's just to try to make you see how it flows and how it works. Of course, you do not have to find anyone to teach this to. And again, I'm using teaching quotes. Feel free to teach it to your dog, your stuffed animals, your kids, whatever, your partner, whoever. But I don't need a video. I don't need any of that. So that's the application assignment. That's the exercise, excuse me. And then the assignment is right here. So all you'll submit, you'll just go right here. It's a Word doc. And of course, as per always, it's behind. You'd think I would learn this by now, y'all, but I don't. Okay. Sorry, it's always behind the timer. So it just looks like this, and these are the directions right from the lesson. You will read the lesson plan, ideally out loud to someone else. Then you will use sentences or bullet points to note any exemplary practices in the opening of the lesson, the body of the lesson, and the closing of the lesson. Again, feel free to write it as sentences, a narrative, or simple bullet points are fine. But I really want you to think about each section, think about the opening, think about the body, think about the closing. What does that lesson plan do well? Okay, so these two, again, these go together, the application exercise, the application assignment. Hopefully it's pretty clear. And again, don't worry about where it says pages 254 to 255. And again, I will post the feedback in case you don't have the textbook. I will post it after I grade your assignments. This assignment is due February 12th. Okay, so it's due in, 2 weeks from today. So make sure to get that submitted. And then the next two assignments you can find under this folder. So remember, this icon means it's a folder. IRIS Module Progress Monitoring and Math Parts 1 and 2. On the syllabus or on the calendar of due dates, let's see, did I keep it open? Oh, I did. Look at me. It's considered the IRIS Module assessment questions. That's kind of part 1. And then applying your knowledge, that's kind of considered progress monitoring part 2. All right, so what I want you to do first, though, I want you to go to this tab, Progress Monitoring and Math. And in this tab, you will just find a PowerPoint that I adapted from Paul Riccomini. I mentioned his name, I think, in 763. He was my advisor up at Penn State, and he's actually from South Carolina, or lived at Clemson. So he's fairly well known in the state. Some of you may have, if you've been in the classroom for a while or out in the schools, you may have done some trainings with him. So this presentation is adapted from him. So I wanted to give him credit. Up here, of course, is just the PowerPoint, without any sound. And then here is one with sound. So progress monitoring with sound, exact same PowerPoint, right? Just with my sound. I did make a mistake as I was recording. I outsmarted myself. So just read this little blurb and know that what's in this PowerPoint is correct. I tried to fix it like on the fly, and I completely outsmarted myself, which seems to be a trend with me. I'll be all sneaky and I'll put something somewhere and I'll say, oh, I'm going to remember where I put it. Yeah, I don't remember. I end up outsmarting myself. So this is just a little correction to this video, okay? And then here is part 2. So this might be helpful. This PowerPoint might be helpful for you to view just so you have a better understanding of progress monitoring before you go into this assignment, okay, or these two assignments. If your CT, does any, talk to your CT, ask them if they do any progress monitoring in math, ask them what they do, ask if you're allowed to watch, ask, how they chose the measures that they used. Try to really get some information from your CT about progress monitoring. I used to have a progress monitoring assignment for this class where you would progress monitor actual students, but with the uncertainty this semester, are you going to be face-to-face? Are you going to be virtual? Are we going to start face-to-face and go virtual? Are you going to be virtual the whole semester? I just took that assignment out, but I did want you to at least be exposed to progress monitoring. So again, view this PowerPoint or these two PowerPoints, I guess, over here first, and then come under this tab. And so here's your IRIS module, Progress Monitoring in Mathematics, right? So you'll just click right on that, and it'll take you right to the module. So you'll just work through this. I know those of you who have taken classes with me before, you know how to do IRIS modules by now. So I don't think I need to do a video about IRIS modules. If you are confused how to work through the module, just Google how to work through Iris module video, and you'll find it on there. It actually might be linked on here somewhere, but there is a YouTube video about how to kind of work through an Iris module. But basically, just start at number 1, work your way all the way through. The only thing, remember, that you will submit are the answers to the assessment questions. So the assessment questions are here. There is a probe here. You don't have to submit this probe, okay? I do want you to score it if you can, which means you might have to print it out. So if you print here, if you click here, I believe it'll take you right to the graph. You don't need to submit the graph, but I do want you to complete, to graph it and do what it says. And then just talk about, you'll submit you're welcome to submit the graph if it's easy for you to print out and scan back in, but I know not everyone has access to that. Okay. So don't worry about necessarily submitting the graph. So those are the questions, and you will find those questions right here, right? Remember our little assignment icon. So you'll click right here. Oh my gosh, every time, y'all. Hold on, let me see if I can get to it. Nope. I do every time. Okay. Sorry, I'm using Screencast-O-Matic, and the little timer thing is right over here off of your screen where the document comes up when I try to open it. So here's the document that you'll answer. Take some time. Again, you are welcome to complete this with a partner, with a small group, by yourself, and then just submit 1 per group, per partnership, whatever, and make sure everyone's names are included on there. All right, so that's the first part, kind of part 1 of progress monitoring. Work through the module and then answer these questions. And then the second part is progress monitoring part 2, applying your knowledge. So this is also part of, oh yay, this one's not upside down. I don't know how to get rid of this over here though, y'all. Oh, look at that. All right, so this is from the Iris Center as well, and it goes along with that, that module that you will work through. I would work through the module first. That's why it's part 1. This is part 2. So you're going to just read through this. Okay, you're going to, as you can see, the different methods of scoring yield different results, right? So you're going to think about FYI, you're going to think about all this. You're going to score these. Again, you don't have to submit your scoring, so you can, write it on a notebook piece of paper, whatever, because this is a PDF and you can't write into here. If you want to convert it to Word, that's fine. If you want to just score them on paper, that's fine as well. You do not need to submit your scoring. Right, so you're going to score it in 2 different ways: number of digits correct and number of correctly answered problems. And again, that PowerPoint that I just referenced is a good place to start before you get to the Iris module. Okay, so you'll score them in 2 separate ways, and then here are your questions, discussion topics. If we were face-to-face, we would discuss these face-to-face, but we're not. So your assignment is right here. And it's just a Word document. I try to make it as easy for y'all as I can. And all you need to do is, answer these questions, compare the results of the probes that you scored using the 2 different methods, discuss some of the potential advantages and disadvantages of each scoring method, write correct problems versus correct digits, and then compare his first probe with the second probe. Do you notice any pattern in the types of errors he is making? Okay, if you have the opportunity to observe progress monitoring in your classroom, or if your CT says, go ahead and administer some progress monitoring, actual measures to actual children, that would be great, but it is not a requirement, as I know everyone's situation will be different. Okay, so hopefully hopefully this answers some questions. So again, application, exercise, and assignment, they go together, and that's due February 12th. And then the Iris module, the first part right here, part 1, that is due February 26th. And the second part 2 right here, is due March 12th. So that takes us, 6 weeks out from now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 weeks out. So, get started in your classrooms as soon as you get your placements, and then you have these assignments. And then again, the next thing isn't really due until April, right? Remember to watch, look through this PowerPoint. Again, this is a PowerPoint, and then it's broken into 2 parts with sound, whichever one you want to use. And I think that's it for 764. I will do another video in a little bit for 763. Have a great day.